Hello. It's been a very long time and I am back for a big update, man. Straight up, Twitter fam, shouts out to our good friends Kiniku Ninja, Jordan's Journey, the Japanese Code, Niku Education. These guys post regularly and they talk about their updates, they talk about their ups and they talk about their downs, they talk about what resources they're learning and generally their Japanese journey. And that's been a good way to, kind of keep my motivation up, interact with other people and just know that the immersion method kind of works and how to keep going really. So let's get into the thick of it, man. I got some notes, so let's go into it. So we're going to start this video talking a little bit about the journey and one of the processes of the journey, and that being particular for my specific interactions, which is being overwhelmed. So I remember there was one point where I was extremely overwhelmed with a lot of things in my life, because the problem I had is that I'm interested in so many different things, and when you're interested in so many different things, you want to get good in a lot of those things, right? But sometimes thinking about the goal is more attractive than actually doing it. So I was thinking about the goal of getting good in various different things so much that I wouldn't actually start doing anything, and that's a problem, isn't it? And that's a problem, and that kind of pushed towards Japanese as well. So it came to a point where I thought, okay, if I want to get good at something, let's try and just filter it down to just one thing and then go from there, right? So I made that Japanese at the time, and I wasn't super productive. I was just doing like an hour or two every day, and then the rest of the day was pretty much unorganized in that sense. There wasn't that much structure, nor there was a schedule. So that definitely changed as the months came across, as I became more organized and just had a better understanding of where I wanted to go. So bringing that back into language learning, there was a point where I didn't really believe my kind of level in that sense. I kept on thinking, oh, look at these other people doing this, doing that. They started MIA like, I don't know, a few months ago, and look at their progress, look at me and all that stuff. Compare yourself to, and then, obviously compare yourself to others is generally not a good thing, as everybody learns in different speeds, and the method will click for you at different moments, right? Some people blindly believe something and then follow and use that as well as their motivation and dedication to push themselves towards X, Y, and Z, and that's fine. When I say blindly believe, I don't believe that immersion methods or MIA in general is a bad thing. I'm just saying, in general, there's some people that will blindly believe anything and then have tunnel vision and follow that. And obviously in their journey, there's ups and downs and there's things they do to tweak the process. So in general, I stayed a bit too long in Anki, and then I was using Morphman, so I was just getting a bunch of sentences, 7 sentences a day, and I did that for a very long time, and I didn't actually immerse in the material. Simply, there wasn't really a reason for it. I just felt like I didn't really have too much time, and I didn't really believe in my level. So as time went on, I started to immerse a little bit more with subtitled content. So I watched I think I watched various different anime with subtitles, and then it came to a point where I literally saw a tweet from this guy on Twitter called Karuma, and then he posted talking about Terrace House, and I was like, oh yeah, I watched a little bit of Terrace House like a year ago, but I watched it with all subtitles and I stopped halfway in the season. It'll be kind of cool to pick it up once again, right? Let's just do this whole MIA thing and just take off the subtitles. Apparently, as you take off the subtitles, and your ability to pass the language kind of just increases, and you'll just learn natively within that sort of setting like you do as a baby, and immersion supposedly gives you the most benefits. Yeah, sure, I didn't really believe it too much, but I jumped in anyway. Before Terrace House, I watched a little bit of anime without subtitles, but it kind of came to the point where I dropped them. I just stopped watching them. So I watched a little bit of Boku no Hero Academia, and then I just kind of just dropped that after like 12 episodes. I watched a little bit of Fire Force, I dropped that after a couple of episodes. A little bit of Haikyuu season 4, and I dropped that after a couple of episodes. And then when I started to watch Terrace House, I watched like a whole, like half of that season where I was watching without subtitles. I was just like, wow, I have generally a better ability to parse the language. Like, this is kind of cool, this is kind of giving me confidence. Even though there's no kind of visual cues to kind of give me somewhat of a deeper understanding as to what was going on, I still have, you know, a setting where I can understand the gist, and that gist is enough for me to have fun. So when you start immersing, you can only do like 15 minutes, you kind of get a headache, you stop doing it, and then, you know, that's really demotivating. And then as you keep going, you can do 30 minutes, you can do an hour, etc. And, you know, you get to a stage where when you're watching something, time feels like it's flowing quickly, obviously because you're having fun and you're understanding a lot more compared to previously. So it came to that point with Terrace House, and I was like, okay, cool. We got to the latest season, finished that, and I just started to watch more anime. So I just started to watch like just a lot of anime, because anime is a big interest of me and of mine, shall I say. A big interest of mine. So I was just like, let's keep going. Let's keep going with this anime. We can, you know, merge the two interests, learning Japanese and the anime what I enjoy. So I just started catching up on a bunch of things, and anime was super enjoyable. There was some anime what I really understood a lot, some anime what I didn't understand so much. You know, either way, because I had like, you know, intrinsic interest in those sort of things, time went quickly, I was having fun, and, you know, my abilities to parse the language, you know, became bigger and bigger, which allowed me to naturally kind of, you know, just understand and bring things from my Anki and, you know, the other things what I was doing, and kind of, you know, learn them more naturally. So after a while, I picked up some video games as well. I think this was in this kind of region. So I picked up some video games, started with Final Fantasy 3, which was, you know, one of my favorite games. I remember, you know, just going down to local Blockbuster, buying it on the DS when they released the remake at that time, and, you know, just playing it a lot. And that was my first Final Fantasy game, and I loved it. So I was just thinking, okay, it came out on Steam, there's a little bit of a sale, let's jump on it, play it in Japanese. Problem with this game, no furigana, and most things I usually consume with furigana. Found a program to grab the text and copy it onto my clipboard, and then I used a dictionary for all the words I did not know how to read or I did not know. Luckily with that game, it was a really good game for me to play. It was in an intermediate stage, so there was dialogue, but the dialogue that did exist wasn't like, you know, pages upon pages upon pages. It was concise, it was accurate, and it allowed me to kind of test my ability. Also, kanji usage on the menus and stuff was very little, so there wasn't that kind of brain overload sort of thing going on. So I kind of got lucky with that. I played the whole game, I used the guide like once, like a video guide, like once or twice, no, twice, exactly twice. Once when I got to one point of the game, and another time when I got to another point of the game to grind. One to grind, and one when I was just confused because one of the bosses were really difficult for me. So that was cool. After that, I played Zelda Wind Waker, and that was amazing. I really liked that game. I used to play a lot in my childhood, so playing it again was amazing. First time I played the HD version, and, you know, I learned a lot through that. Also during this time I played like this visual novel that was also good, kind of getting into the more descriptive kind of settings and talking more about, you know, just feelings, everyday conversations. That was good. So it just came to a point where I managed to build a lot of habits, right? And I feel like that's the hardest part. The hardest part with anything is building a habit, knowing what you want to do and being able to continue to do that in a daily setting, right? Because anybody could tell you need to do this and that, but if you don't build a habit which works for you, then you're relatively going to drop it at some point or another. So for me, like my general day, right, I'd work for like freaking 4 to 6 hours, right? And then after that I'd watch anime for like 2 hours, right, without subtitles. Then I'd probably watch some kind of drama, real life thing, comedy, whatever, for like an hour. And then after that I'll play like a visual novel or a game for like 1 or 2 hours. Then I'll have like 1 hour and 30 minutes of Anki at the end of the day. So yeah, like that's pretty much, you know, my routine. But the way I built that is obviously trying just doing one thing, right, for like 15-30 minutes, and then like just being like, okay, let's see how this goes, let's see how if I have fun or not. And as I keep going, or as I keep enjoying it, like naturally the time gets longer, and you bring these other components into your day in order to, you know, streamline the process, so you have an equal number of passive reading, active reading, as well as listening, right? And then as time went on, I started to watch more YouTube videos, and yeah, it's all cool. So I guess like what I really want to, you know, conclude this is, like, a lot of people try and think, oh yeah, you know, I'm not good enough to, you know, immerse myself in native material. Once I get up to a stage where I'm able to have enough vocabulary, or read this whole grammar guide, or some kind of arbitrary goal, then I'll be ready to be able to take on this massive goal, which is, you know, the native material, because that's my dream. I want to be able to watch anime without subtitles, or watch my favorite comedy without subtitles, or my favorite drama without subtitles, or be able to listen to my favorite music once and be able to like learn the lyrics and be able to sing everything, and memorization will be easy, pronunciation will be easy, and all of this. Yeah, everybody has to slow down and just the best. Legit. But yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. Let's go, and I hope you took something from this. It's probably me rambling, but boom.